Hello. Hi. Hope you're well. Hope you're swell. Hope you're lazy. Hope you're brave. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing nice. Nice. I have an album out. It's encouraging. I think a couple people have been listening to it. I've been looking at some of the streaming stats. It seems like some people have been checking it out. The link is in the description. It is called it's called Forget Me Nots and Camellias. The link is in the description. I think a couple people have been listening to it, so I appreciate that. I always appreciate that. Really appreciate more people checking it out. Thank you and thank you. When you make music, you want people to hear it, of course. And then I have a poetry book called The Many Shades of Flowers. 40 love poems. And it's $1. I think that's nice. It's $1. So the link is in the description for that as well. I really appreciate you checking it out. Give me 5 stars. Give me a 5-star rating. I would greatly appreciate it. Some quick things. Sony announced the PS5 Pro. I'm not going to spend too much time on this topic, but they announced the PS5 Pro and they announced the price for the PS5 Pro. People are not happy. In America, it's $700. Here in South Africa, I'm not sure how much they're going to charge for it. Really not sure. They always mark it up, so it's never a 1-to-1 pricing ratio. So when it gets this side, it's going to be significantly more expensive. Right now, it's like if you want to get a PS5 Slim, you're going to pay around 13 grand, depending on where you get it from. The price is lowering. You might get it for 12.5 thousand, depending where you go. I think the PS5 Pro is going to approach 20,000 rand. I think it's going to approach 20,000 rand. It's looking like that's what's going to be happening, which is absurd. That's too expensive for a lot of people. But at the same time, I did see someone post when you adjust for inflation, the PS3 was actually priced very similarly to the PS5 Pro. So like these are not alien prices. Like it's not like we've never seen this before. The people online attacked the person that pointed that out. I don't know, guys. I think they might have their reasons for charging that much. They might be trying to make up for losses they've made recently and all that. You know, they've made some puzzling decisions. I'm not a Sony apologist. I used to be. But these days they've been making a lot of decisions that have been pissing me off. So I don't defend them as much as I used to. But, you know, the PS5 Pro doesn't come with a disk drive, which is insane. So you can't use discs on it. You can buy a separate disk drive. You have to install the disk drive yourself. I'm just like, what are we doing, guys? But you have to buy the disk drive now. That's where we're at. Like, included. Like, you know people want this. Why would you remove it? Like, it's very puzzling decisions. Maybe it's to cut production costs, but it's like, I think it's going to cost you more in the long run when people are just like, well, we're just not going to buy it. You're going to lose money. You're going to lose customers. People are like, okay, well, we won't buy it then. People want physical media, guys. Like, why don't these companies understand people want discs? Like, you're not gonna just get rid of discs without a fight, at least. I don't think it's worth it to fight. Like, just give people what they want and they'll pay you handsomely for it. But anyway, we'll see what happens with the PS5 Pro. I don't know if I'm gonna get it. I think it's too expensive. It might be a waste of money. I think I'll just get the PS5 Slim and then be good with that. The thing that's kind of enticing, but maybe I shouldn't really be caring so much, is that you can play play games with high resolution and high frame rate. Usually, you have to sacrifice one for the other. So there's fidelity mode, which prioritizes high graphics but low frame rate. Then there's performance mode, which prioritizes high frame rate but slightly lesser graphics. It's not like bad, but it's like slightly lesser. I guess you can notice if you really pay attention, but it's not that crazy, the difference. So I think I have to be responsible and just get the PS5 Slim, because the extra money you're getting for a console without a disc drive, I'd actually be sacrificing getting a disc drive. Like, it's less features in certain regards. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I don't think. You have to pay extra for the disc drive, which is so absurd. But anyway, the iPhone 16 also was revealed, and people are like, meh. It seems like that's the reaction. Meh. I'm sure Apple fans are happy. I'm sure Apple fans are always happy to get a new Apple product. But it's incremental updates. That's most phone companies these days. It's never anything significant in terms of like visual design or anything like that. They have a new button on the shoulder, like somewhere up here. They have this new kind of button that's touch sensitive, and you can it's dedicated to camera control, so you can't really use it outside of the camera. But it's touch sensitive, so you can swipe it and like adjust certain camera settings and move within the camera menu and stuff like that. It's cool. It's cool. It's a cool idea. I think it would be even cooler if they could make it useful outside of just the camera app, like it had multiple functions and you could customize it. But Apple's never been one for customization. They're coming around now these days. Anyway. It seems like a lot of people are just not interested. Apparently they're boycotting the iPhone in the Congo. I'd assume it has something to do with labor. Maybe people are not being paid enough, or child labor, or all these things. On the topic of child labor, I think about it, and sometimes I feel like people are not thinking straight. Should we inherently be against child labor in all circumstances? I think it depends. I think if you're in an impoverished nation and you're desperate and your kid could go work at some factory where they could earn money and contribute to the household, it's not ideal, but I think those families themselves sign up for it. And again, it's not ideal. But you always wonder, like, what else are they supposed to do? All this humanitarian aid, all this, it's not working. People need immediate solutions to their problems, so sometimes they're left with that, and hey, it puts money in their pockets. I think they'd be worse off without it, without those jobs. These families where they have these kids working, it's unfortunate, but that's the world. The world is unfortunate. There's no point in crying about it. So I'm not as squeamish about child labor. I think there are circumstances where these children are being abused, and that should be put to an end. But sometimes we need to look into things and really assess, like, what's actually happening. It's just a nuanced take on it. You might disagree with that. My perspective is simply, hey, families can feed themselves as a result of this, and you take that away and they're worse off. Should we really take it away? Or should we be practical? Should we be pragmatic and be like, for now, this is the best we can do for them? They're providing jobs, job creation. And hey, maybe those kids can work their way up the company, I don't know. Get benefits. This is a brush I'm looking for. I'm sure that's a controversial stance to take. And it can be taken out of context very easily. I can see someone very easily taking that out of context. But all I'm saying is, something is better than nothing. If there's no other alternative, which in a lot of cases that is the case, there's no other alternative for these people, then just forcing the children to not work, you're actually making a bad situation worse in a lot of cases. At least in these instances, in some of these countries, they'll have somewhere to go where they can do something productive that's not necessarily harming their community or whatnot. Because all these kids, when they have nothing else to do, they grow up in the streets, they can get into lives of crime and disorder. So, it's not a perfect situation. But let's be practical, okay? That's all I'm saying. Come on. I'm not advocating for abuse or anything like that. It's just, in an imperfect world, sometimes you have to come up with imperfect solutions. In other news, someone had commented that I should share what I'm writing, because I am writing a story, but I don't want to share because I'm kind of like thinking about, I felt kind of guilty actually, funny enough, about the rant I went on yesterday about Attack on Titan. Not because I believe I said anything wrong. It's just, it's very easy to criticize other people's work. It's very easy to do that. And there's nothing wrong with having an opinion on something, right? If you have a strong opinion about a show you watch, which I tend to have, right? When I watch something or play something or read something, I tend to have debates with myself. Like literally, I'll just talk to myself out loud about what I just consumed and try and flesh out my thoughts. And then, I'll share it online. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but as someone who wants to also be a creator, who wants to be a professional writer, sometimes I feel like it's better to stay focused on actually creating. You spend more time creating than you are yapping about other people's work. So I'm trying to get better at that. And the reason why I don't want to share too much about what I'm writing right now is because I also don't want to get into the habit about talking about what I'm going to do instead of actually doing it. I'm like, for years now I've wanted to write a book. For years and years I've wanted to write a book, and it hasn't happened yet. Like a full-length novel. It's been quite a struggle getting that done. I'm trying to figure out the best way to get it done. It's not easy. Planning a book and writing something that's cohesive and makes sense. I had written, I thought I'd written 88 or 89,000 words, but it was actually 86. I checked the document recently. I'd written a draft of a novel. It was 86,000 words, which is a lot. That's well past full length, right? That's well past full length. And the issue was, it was a bunch of nonsense. Like, it was all over the place. It didn't really make sense. It didn't follow a consistent through line. And I knew that it was a wrap. The story wasn't going anywhere. So I scrapped it, right? But yeah, I learned some things from that experience, and I'm applying it now. And I'm hoping I'll actually finish something finish what I'm working on now. That's my hope. But yeah, I want to talk less and do more. I'm really like tired of like having this desire. And you know, I'll be following the news from the entertainment industry. I'll be seeing all sorts of malarkey going on, all sorts of shenanigans, crazy shenanigans transpiring in the entertainment industry, and it frustrates me. But then I'm like, when are you going to contribute? When are you going to step in and also be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem? You know, so I get frustrated with myself. I'm like, can I please just write something good? When that day comes, though, when I finally do release the book, I hope y'all support me. I hope y'all support me. We'll see. You know, I've complained in the past about the terrible female characters that get written these days. Like, people are just not good at writing female characters, it seems. Some are, but a lot of what you see is a bunch of nonsense. And I really don't think it's that hard, honestly. So yesterday I was writing, actually, and I was writing a scene for one of my female characters, and you know, I'm hoping I'm doing a decent job. We'll see. My mission is to just make her an entertaining, cool character. She's not the main character, she's not the protagonist, but you know, I want people to enjoy her when they do read her dialogue and whatever scenes she is in. Just to show that it's actually, guys, it's not that difficult to write female characters that are interesting, that people like. It's not that hard. But we'll see if I actually achieve that. We'll see. I was, you know, while I was writing yesterday, I was writing a scene and I'd nearly fallen into a trap. One of the characters was reading a book, and then this female character I'm actually talking about, that I talked about just now, she asked the character, like, what are you reading? What is it about? And I'm someone that I can plan, but only so much. I plan vaguely, like I know the beginning, middle, end. The middle not as much, but I know how it starts. Obviously, I've already started the book. I know how it ends. And then I know a few other details, like there's like certain scenes that I can picture in my mind that I've actually already written, or at least have drafts for. But it's like having a skeleton, or a 90% complete skeleton, or 80% complete skeleton, and then the rest of it is me filling it up as I go along, like building as I go, right? So I write, I kind of come up with things as I go along while having a general framework that I'm working under to guide me. So when this female character asked this other character who's reading a book, what are you reading? I was kind of making that up on the spot, like, what is he reading? What is it about? And I was tempted to, because he was actually researching something, I was tempted to make something up entirely that would add a new dimension to the plot. It would take the plot in a new direction. I was like, wait, don't do that, because you're just complicating things. Stick to what you've already established. He has these goals that you've already outlined. You know that he wants this, and you know that he wants that. He should be reading about that. So it's a little thing, and it's just, I was just like, these are mistakes I've made in the past. Especially, I talked about that novel draft that was 86,000 words. One mistake I made is I kept going on tangents, getting distracted, and bro, it was crazy, bro. That particular book was a pirate fantasy novel, and it was supposed to be fairly simple in terms of the objectives of the characters, right? It wasn't too hectic. I tried to follow a simple through line. Somehow, some way, we ended up in the underworld, in the world of the dead. And the character had to escape the world of the dead and go back to the land of the dead. I'm like, how did I get here? How did the story go off the rails like this? I was like, yeah, lack of discipline. Following all your fancies and not sticking to the script, not staying on the mission. So things just went in crazy directions, and I was like, by the time I reached 86,000 words, it had gotten so ridiculous in terms of like how all over the place the story was. I was like, no, this is unacceptable. I can't. I couldn't even conceive of how to even wrap the book up. I was like, this is not even. I don't even know if I'm halfway at this point. Like, where am I in the story? I didn't even know where I was. Like, how far was I away from finishing? Was I at the middle? Was I towards the end? No, I wasn't towards the end. I definitely wasn't towards the end. But yeah, I was just like, no, I need to scrap this. This has gotten too crazy, and it was no longer enjoyable to write just because I'd lost direction. I'd lost it. Yeah, it was crazy. But anyway, these are the lessons I'm learning while I'm writing, and I have a strong objective to actually write something. And you know, my goals for my first novel, yes, it's for it to be good, but just to get it done first and foremost. Just write something and complete it. That's my hope. I'll be very proud of myself if I can just put out a finished work. I'll be very happy about that. So, I think I'm gonna use AI to create a cover image, a book cover, which is this is the thing about AI like that I actually thought about. An application for it would be creating cover images without the need to hire someone. You know, when I had a event that I threw last year, I had hosted an event and I had to create a poster for it. I had to pay an artist a lot of money because I wanted like a professional poster. I didn't want some you know, it was my baby. I wanted it to be like really attractive for people. So I thought I'd pay an artist to sketch something for me, and then I'll use that as the poster. And I had to pay him a lot of money. Now I'm thinking with AI, it's like you can write a prompt and it can generate some image for you, and it's getting more and more sophisticated, so you can come up with some crazy images. You know, and if you keep things fairly simple, you get even better results, right? If you can keep things fairly simple. So, and then you bypass the nonsense of copyright and all these sort of things. So yeah, I think I'm gonna use AI to generate a cover image. I'm looking forward to see how that works out. It would have been nice to use the X AI Grok, but I can't sign up for X Premium for some reason because it asks you to verify your phone number, and when I try it doesn't work. They're supposed to send you an SMS and it never comes through. It does, but the process doesn't work, that they don't verify. So I literally can't sign up for X Premium, which is frustrating. Because I also tweet, and sometimes I want to write longer tweets and I can't tweet, post, but I can't because I don't have X Premium. So yeah, it's very frustrating. So it would have been nice to use Grok, but I can't. So I'll use something else. Maybe I'll use like Google has Gemini now. I don't know. Or like Bing AI. There's a lot of AIs, OpenAI, all these AIs. I'll find one of them and see if I can do some image generation with them. I'm sure some site allows for it. I'm sure a lot of sites have AI image generation, so I'll figure that out. But yeah, I'll create a book cover and it'll be stylish. I'm stylish, you know. I don't like having. You know what? I don't think it's that I'm stylish. I'm very simplistic. I think being simplistic is stylish. Because, you know, with simplicity, it's very hard to miss. Because you're not doing too much. It's not confusing. It's simple. I think simplicity is key. And it's easy to win people over with simplicity, you know? It's like, oh, that's nice. I get what he's doing there. It's not doing too much. I think it's aesthetically pleasing. So I'm gonna keep my book cover simple. It's a pirate. Well, the cat's out the bag, I guess. It's a pirate novel. I'm back to the pirate stuff, by the way. I was writing at some point I'd taken a slight detour and tried to write a zombie novel, but I got bored. I was like, this is boring. So I'm back to the pirate thing again. And I have old material that I can lean on, I can use, recycle to help me. So I'm doing that again. So since the theme is pirates and whatnot, there's a couple directions you can go in with regards to the cover art. You can do the skull and crossbones, which has been done a lot. You can do a ship on the sea. You can do a cutlass, which is like the swords they use. Like, there's a lot you can do to represent piracy and all these sort of things, or certain themes in the story. So I'm gonna think about that and see what I come up with, but I want it to be simple, aesthetically pleasing, but simple. Just because sometimes I see book covers that are just so trash. Sometimes you see simple book covers, but they're still trash. So I want something that just looks nice. Let's see if I achieve that goal. I'm confident I will, though. I'm sure I will. At the very least, it'll look decent. But yeah, support me when that's out. Pray for me that I actually finish, man. I just want to finish something. So today I'm alright. I wrote yesterday, I'm alright today. Inch closer, just inch closer to that goal of writing a full length novel. But yeah, I've got a good technique this time around. Methods I'm employing with regards to plotting and all these sort of things. I like doing character interviews because you get to learn a lot about your characters, and I do multiple interviews for each character as the story progresses. Obviously, not obviously. I don't like saying obviously because I think it's rude, but anyway. I like doing these interviews, and they're not going to be in the main story. These are not things I'm going to include in the actual manuscript. It's just for me to learn more about the character. So I do character interviews, and it's actual dialogues and actual scene within, like the interviewer is an actual character, and I write it out as if two people are actually having a conversation, and it's humorous, and it's this and it's that. It gets serious, it gets tense. They get frustrated with the interviewer and threaten him and all sorts of stuff like that. And what I do is every time something significant happens to that character, I open up another document and I interview them about it, just to get their thoughts on it, and maybe I can learn something about them that I can then use in the actual story. So that's one new trick I've picked up now that I've started another draft of this book. And I'm also, I'm just writing things down more, planning a little bit more. I think the first time that I reached 86,000 words, I was just writing. I wasn't really planning that much. This time around, I know how it ends, so it's just about getting there. I know what point I'm trying to get to. Another issue, the first draft of this pirate book, I guess, was that I had planned for it to be a 3-part series, which is too ambitious when you haven't even written one novel in your life. So trying to say my first endeavor is going to be a 3-part series. You're on crack. You're on crack. I need to do one novel, a standalone novel that's relatively short, maybe 60,000 words. Nothing too big, nothing too crazy, because I'm a beginner. And then I need to put out another standalone novel and another standalone novel, and I get very good at that so that I can put those out at a rapid rate, and then I can start thinking about doing a series. But yeah, that was another problem, is that I was trying to do a 3-part series. So that's why things ended up getting very overwhelming, and I couldn't really plan it out properly because it was so huge of a story, right, that I was trying to attempt to write. Whereas this one is much, much simpler and smaller in scale. So I have had a easier time coming up with a beginning, middle, end, and I'm just focused on getting from point A to point B. How do I get characters from point A to point B? It is helping me write when I write from the antagonist's perspective as well, because the protagonist and the antagonist are going against each other. It helps when you understand his motivations, what he wants, and how he's going to get that, because then when you know those details, it makes it easier for you to then chart the journey of the protagonist and what he has to do and what he's going to be going through and the challenges he's going to be facing. So I'm attacking this from multiple angles, just really trying to figure out how can I write something and finish it. Finish the damn thing. How can I get from point A to point B? It's not easy, guys. I am trying, but it's a bit difficult. But I think, I don't know, we'll see if I do it this time, if this time is the time. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. I'd like to pray the end of my videos, dear Father God. Thank you for this individual watching this right now. Thank you for making them whole, unique, and guiding them on a path towards peace, prosperity, and purpose. Thank you for blessing this person with wonderful people in life who love them, take care of them, be the absolute best out of them. Thank you for maintaining the ones that are there to do the same thing. Thank you for blessing this person with love and marriage and sustaining that love and marriage and making very, very happy. Thank you for blessing this person with a spirit of gratitude so they can give thanks alone for this in their life. Let your presence be known in this person's life, so that you God, that you will, that you love them, and it's going to be there for them. Good health, long life, and happiness over this person, everyone that can. Amen, amen, and amen.